right, let's get the show started. When it came to Raw and SmackDown, did you like the favor of CM Punk towards Paul Heyman?
It was the dumbest favor, I guess you could say, that they could have come up with. I don't know if they were just like, oh shit, we didn't think this favor was gonna be that much of a big deal to where the fans are like asking what it is. So we got to come up with something real fast, and let's go ahead and throw this out, out there.
Yeah,
So
that's how I took it. I will give a shout out to my homie, which he called it. I don't know if I can find the text message of it. Not a text, like I forgot where he said it on TikTok or Instagram, but he said, "I have a feeling that Paul Heyman is going to betray Roman and CM Punk and join forces with Seth Rollins." This is way before Friday Night SmackDown for the favor, and now you get to see what Seth did. You owe me a favor, and I'm like, fuck, he fucking called it 3 weeks in the back. And obviously he doesn't like to do podcasting. He doesn't really talk. So in a way, like I can kind of just say, if I can find the text, I'll screenshot it and put it in the video edit after I edit it. But his name's Hector and he watches wrestling, and shout out to him for calling it out. It's still not official, but it looks like it's going to go that fucking direction.
I mean, let's say it happens. Let's just say it happens. So you're telling me he's gonna, backstab Roman, backstab CM Punk, which is his best friend, and then after that join Seth Rollins for how long of a run exactly? Because are you just gonna do it for one night? And after that, you're gonna solo because CM Punk's gonna be like, "Bro, you just screwed me over." Roman Reigns will be like, "You just screwed me over." So why would we realign ourselves with you?
I didn't get enough explanation from him, but the way that I've seen from other people on their podcast, I noticed that they're saying that it can work wonders for Seth Rollins, and he can be The Rock's other member. So like that, he's gonna cost Cody Rhodes the title as well on night 2. So that he's gonna go on a major heel run. And what do you need to become a badass heel? You need a badass fucking mouthpiece. Even though Seth Rollins doesn't really need a mouthpiece because he's that good. But just having Paul Heyman in the back makes you exceptional, much, much better. Exponential is what I try to say.
I don't know. I think that's a bit of a stretch. No, and that's me being honest. Like, really, John Cena, Seth Rollins, The Rock, and Paul Heyman. 4 people, Seth, 3 at the mic, and then Seth Rollins, it's like, for what? What's the purpose? Just because he's active? Maybe, I guess that's the only reason why, because he's active.
Yes, and that's the only reason that I would see it as. So, like, for me, I'm like, okay, you're setting up because we know that John Cena, now that we're talking about it, now I see it a little bit more. We know that John Cena retires in December. We know his final match, now it might be The Rock or Seth Rollins because he has to betray the faction. He loses the belt or whatever it is. But if that faction's still strong and has a good fucking run, I'm like, they're setting up probably a potential fight between Seth Rollins and maybe a CM Punk for their third and final fight at WrestleMania, single matches.
A whole year from now.
Because think about it. All of a sudden, like, I honestly believe it to my heart that it was going to be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk if it wasn't for the injury. And then we have to wait 6 fucking months or almost 3 months. I forgot how long. And they had to do it at Netflix because Netflix was a big deal. That first one was the biggest one. That was like a WrestleMania moment. And who won? CM Punk won. And then their next big fight is in a cage. And who won that? It was Seth Rollins. So we still need to close it out because it's 1-1. Even though Seth Rollins won by cheating, thanks to Roman. However, he was already going to win. He was going to win.
Yeah, he had it. Well, yeah.
Unless if you try to go for after that stomp, just open the fucking door and walk out. But to me, he was already going to win. So Roman kind of messing it up. No, man. He was going to win. And he was going to win clean. That's a cool fucking part. They're going to go for the clean route. All right, now, because we know it's official, because we know it's the main event on night 2, I'm going to save your prediction for another day because I want to go the other triple threat and see if you have a prediction. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. It's official. People are booing Bianca, even though she's She's borderline. She's not wrong that Rhea Ripley whined herself into a triple threat, but you did cost her match the very first night.
Yeah, when she lost the title to Io Sky. Yeah.
Yes. Now, like you pushed her, that automatically is a disqualification, and Io Sky is not champion anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So there, and I'm surprised people are booing Bianca, and I'm like, I don't think it was gonna go this route because she has not done nothing that is heelish. They were booing her in Europe, and in Minneapolis, they were booing her. So that is wild to me, and I think I'm gonna give you my prediction today. I have Io Sky winning. They're gonna keep the titles on.
I mean, I think last week you had the same prediction. I guess you're just sticking to it.
Yes.
You weren't staying concrete on it. I think it was.
I wasn't that concrete because I wanted to see who was standing tall at the end. And I know that we have one more week, but them ignoring Io Sky 2 times in a row, or this whole feud, they've been ignoring. For me, it's a big deal. I'm like, oh, they want you to forget about her so that she can win and be like a shocker. The thing is, like, I don't know who takes the pin. That would be more of a prediction for me, maybe next week. But I am looking at Bianca. I think she's gonna take the pin over Rhea.
Well, Rhea's been more protected. I mean, I think obviously your points are solid. I think you're right on what you're saying. They are, I guess not obviously like making us forget about Io Sky, trying to get us to forget about her. And obviously Bianca and Rhea are bigger names in the draw.
Yes.
But I think if you go the heel route, I think Belair's gonna win it if she becomes heel. As a face, she's not gonna win it. But if they have her turn, basically embrace the heel because of the boost that she's already getting, at that point she's winning the title at Mania.
Oh, okay. Who's she pinning?
Io Sky. They're not pin Rhea. So it's either if Bianca wins, she's Io. If Io wins, she's spinning Bianca. But Rhea's not getting pinned.
Now this one's all hype. I'll tell you this: when fucking Io Sky did that freaking jump drop kick on Rhea, that shit was nasty. The way that her fucking whole body went towards her, like se mira como que she was not expecting it, even though they're expecting it, right? But that looks fucking real. Where I'm like, it would fucking hurt me. Like it would hurt me on a playing football or soccer or basketball. Que alguien me pegara así descuidadamente and shit. Now, the other one, the women's title, which not everybody's interested in. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know why their promos are not that good. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. It's not hitting. And I believe that should be like a match number 2 on night 2 or night 1. Because if you guys put it in the beginning, it's going to suck the air out of the arena. Like you want to start that with a very, very low number so that we can kind of forget it. Because if you put it like in between, I know they're both great wrestlers, but something about the feud is telling me it's not going to be a great fight because of the promos.
I mean, I honestly, when it comes down to the promos, I saw obviously the most recent one they had with the whole 0-3 and the whole Luda Kaiser, whatever. I obviously with that, so I agree. Like the promos have been very unforgettable. Do I believe in their ability? Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna have good chemistry. Now I don't know if they're getting along backstage. I don't know if they're not putting any practice into their rehearsing of the match. Because if there's no chemistry there, then it's gonna be a terrible match. But if there's some chemistry, then at least they'll be able to put that into the ring. But it just depends on how they're getting along backstage. When it comes down to it, I'm still gonna stick to my original pick. I think Tiffany's gonna win it. I don't want her to win it, but I don't see Charlotte winning because they want to push Tiffany more over than what she already is. Yeah,
and I agree. It'll be a complete shocker where I'll be like, wow, if Charlotte wins. I don't see her winning though. It comes down to the chemistry. I don't think their promos are becoming so. Is not entering a good chemical bond. So I don't know the wrestling will be good. It's just in a way a lot of people get taken by the promos. They get taken by the promos. But it is going to be Tiffany, and it's going to be a clean win. Now, on to the next fight, which I did not expect, but I'm happy for it because it's gonna be a banger, and they're gonna steal the show because of the way that they are. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Again, Chad Gable's gonna miss another fucking WrestleMania. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. And they're gonna put up a banger, bro. They're gonna put up a fucking banger. They both have the great chemistry. The only thing that could have made more like ooh is if is mask versus mask. Now, is it too soon to do that for Grande Americano, where it's only been like literally 1 month, or are they saving it for Backlash for a rematch in Mexico to expose El Grande Americano for tradition of Mexico? That's even if Backlash is in Mexico. I don't know if it's still out there.
I'm not sure it is. I don't think it is.
I remember there was some rumors, but I guess it's not. I haven't heard nothing else anymore. So I don't know if they're gonna be saving it. So right here, this is interesting. I'm like, I don't know if Grande Americano is gonna get a W because I don't know how long they're gonna be pushing this wrestler until he gets unmasked.
I mean, does he get a win? Yeah, but that doesn't help Gable's case, Chad Gable's case, because Chad Gable's case still has issues against fighting against luchadores. He still hasn't demonstrated that he beat luchadores. This Grande Americano guy, apparently, he's a lot better at it than Gable is. You know,
Because Americano is an actual luchador. That's why.
exactly. So I don't know how would that help Chad Gable in his case when he is able to cleared by the medical staff to wrestle.
It'll be hilarious if they unmask him and it's not Chad Gable.
I mean, again, we do have one more Monday. I doubt they make it a mask versus mask match. It's way too early to make it that for a loss on either way. If Mysterio's on his way out, then okay, go ahead and make it mask versus mask. Mysterio loses, fine.
You see, my thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but my thing was like you could have pushed this a lot harder, right? You could have made a triple threat out of it, like the wrestling, which they did, which was a banger. It was an a toda madre fucking wrestling match. The what's it called? American Made versus LWO. But my thing was like you could have done it better with El Grande Americano, which was you beat the stable of LWO, right? You beat the first guy, you beat the second guy, then you beat Dragon Lee. That's 3 weeks, and that leads into WrestleMania with the final boss of Rey Mysterio. I'm like, and if he takes a W over Rey Mysterio, that looks good on him. You're like, oh shit, he learned it. He learned how to be a luchador. Pero I don't know. It's not bad. You know, it's not a bad thing. Where I just feel like they missed a big point where they could have pushed that character more further down for luchadores.
Yeah, I mean, really, where do you go after Rey Mysterio if he beats him? You know, it's like after that,
Penta.
you go, well, yeah, but Penta if he becomes champion.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a second. But outside of Penta, what else you got for him?
No, I mean Penta would be the final, like not the final boss, but Penta's where he stops, and that's it. Then you can do the mask versus mask, which it'll be really stupid because everybody would know, well, Penta's winning now because they're not gonna fucking unmask Penta. That's something where I'm like, it's cool because we know I'm like, okay, we're finally gonna find out who he is. Pero like, I would say Penta would be the final nail in the conflict because I don't think he's gonna go to SmackDown and go the Rey Phoenix route. And Rey Phoenix would be the one to dethrone him. So I would say, like after Rey, if you beat Rey, Penta would be your next guy. So who do I have winning? I am gonna go El Grande Americano. I have a good feeling it's gonna be him for the sole reason that they are pushing him in this direction. And Rey Mysterio has been taking a lot of L's lately. He's been taking a lot of big L's on bigger moments.
I mean, I was going the same route you are. I think Grande Americano is going to get the win just to continue pushing him. Like you said, it's kind of done to stop him at Mania. Like, okay, you finally lost against Mysterio. And it goes the same thing. You still can't beat big luchadores in this case, you know. So yeah, I guess he does beat Mysterio, and eventually you'll continue steamrolling the way you go, and eventually you will lose. But for now, it's way too early to give you your first L. So yeah, I think.
And then of course him beating, and I think the first week he beat Dragon Lee, And then the second week they did the 3-on-3 and they beat him. I'm like, that looks good on him because technically he's beating luchadores. And like I said, that match was amazing. It was a really great showing. I'm like, now with Rey Mysterio, you're gonna put out, you're gonna give a show. And I think he deserves the W. He deserves the win and continue to push him a little bit harder and maybe do a future Penta match because that's another luchador on the side of Raw. Because in the side of SmackDown we have Los Garzas and we have freaking este güey the he's not technically a luchador, pero es mexicano, Andrade. But that's on the SmackDown side, which I don't think he's gonna go in that direction. I think he's gonna stay in Raw, and they need that funny ass stable. I will. Did you see the wrestling, the triple threat? Not the triple threat, the 3-on-3.
I saw glimpses of it. I didn't see the entire thing. Again, it was a Monday night.
If you get a chance, rewatch it, and bang, it's you're at freaking work, huh?
Yeah,
that's what you can get to see it. So if you get a chance, just rewatch that whole 10-minute. It was really good. It like these guys got down for those 10-15 minutes. I really enjoyed it, and you should definitely check it out. After that, we're gonna jump to the side of SmackDown for the ones that we know we're gonna get, because I don't want to burn out all the Raw. On the side of SmackDown, Randy Orton does not have an opponent anymore. He will miss out on WrestleMania. Two things, William. Is it a work or no?
It's not a work. I think Kevin Owens is actually injured. He did mention it on a podcast where the podcast was like, hey, is this going to get aired before or after SmackDown? And they're like, it's going to get aired after. And he's like, okay, then I could tell you, yes, I am injured. I have surgery, whatever. So but he wanted to make sure it was clear, like, hey, make sure you don't this doesn't get posted till after,
Yeah.
So then it's official. He's actually out of Mania. As for Randy Orton, I'm sure he will have an opponent. Who will it be? I don't know. I mean, they could go the route of Seth Rollins 3 years ago, where it was Cody Rhodes the opponent when he was coming back from AEW, and it was like the mystery opponent. Who's it going to be? And
okay,
Cody.
And you're going with Aleister Black or freaking Rusev. If you're going with your opponent,
if it's one of those, yeah, I mean, it could be any random one, even from WWE itself,
This would be the reason why I'm against that. My reasoning is it's a beautiful thing. It's you ruined Randy if he loses. You ruined the new opponent if he loses, because the whole point of you coming to WWE to make a big impact is to win. But if you want Randy to look like a monster, like a badass going into a feud with a potential John Cena, with a potential Cody Rhodes, you need him to win.
Right. Well, I mean,
so if he loses, it's bad.
That's my point. It's a surprise. It's a surprise person. It doesn't have to be them necessarily. It could be somebody in the current roster. It could be Trick Williams, who right now doesn't have anybody, and we know he could be like, hey, let me shoot my shot. I'm going against Randy Orton. Or you could go a legend. Hey, who's looking for the retirement match? Goldberg? Why not? 15-second squash match. Here we go. Done. That's a retirement match in Mania. You're out of here.
Jada Spear turned into a fucking RKO, or a jackhammer into an RKO. I would not mind that. That's actually not a bad choice. I like that more than fucking Aleister Black and fucking Rusev. I do like that more. There's another guy who doesn't have a freaking match. And if you want to put Randy in WrestleMania, they can go this direction. They can go Andrade. He doesn't have a match. Who's talking a lot and who looks amazing? The Miz and Carmelo. They can bust out a fucking feud in 2 weeks for them. Easily. Right? And, of course, the other guy, my favorite choice, which would be perfect because he'll finally get his WrestleMania moment, Nick Aldis, the general manager.
Right. I mean, to be fair, he's taking 2 RKOs from Randy, so
yes,
he has
back.
So.
Like, I want my leg back. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, we're getting Nick Aldis. We knew that he wrestled in England. He never wrestled in WWE, so this can be his time to shine and give him 5-10 minutes, a little squash match, and it should be interesting. I don't know if Raw would be. I don't know if WWE would allow that, but. Do you think Randy Orton misses WrestleMania?
No, he's having a match. Who? I don't know against who, but he's not missing it.
Okay. ¿Cómo se llama? LA Knight versus Fatu. Jacob Fatu. Do you like it?
I'm all for it. I'm not against it. I just don't know what the heck is going on with that storyline of that bloodline.
It's convoluted mess. It's a convoluted mess because I honestly thought Solo was gonna interfere in the last match and make it a shamble of four, like a fatal four. So in a way, I'm happy that it's a singles match. But then, what was the point of removing the belt from Shinsuke? In my point of view, if LA Knight's about to lose in WrestleMania,
Right.
unless who interferes.
Exactly. And that's I mean, so yeah, when it comes down to that match, is the only way I see Jacob Fatu losing, because LA Knight is not superior than Jacob Fatu. Only way
Yeah,
I see Jacob losing, interference by Solo.
like Solo.
I see it happening.
Because it's like I told you on when it was like when we were thinking, I'm like, oh, it's a fatal four that is gonna be Braun Strowman, Solo, Jacob, freaking LA Knight. I'm like, if Shinsuke were there, they were gonna put him in there, and then at WrestleMania night, they were gonna be like, oh, and here's a final guest, and Jimmy comes out. That would have been different than the fatal four that we're getting from Raw. Pero we're just getting a singles match, and I do believe that there's going to be an interference so that we can push that story in unless Jacob wins, and then we're going to follow with the story for the title, which makes it more juicier. But why remove the belt from Shinsuke then? That's the only thing that I have an issue with. If
Yeah.
you're just going to allow Elena to carry it for 5 more weeks, it's just stupid. It's stupid to me. I hate when they do that shit in WWE.
I mean, the only way I could see the only reason I could see behind it is who has better mic work.
Yes, Jacob gets down on Mike though.
Yeah, no. But my point is like with Shinsuke and LA Knight is like, okay, well, we're gonna lead into Mania with Jacob, to make a good promos going into it. Let's go ahead and get somebody good with a mic. Let's put LA Knight on there,
Yeah,
and then use it to.
but if you actually think about it, we haven't had any exchanges between Jacob and LA Knight.
We really haven't. It's been just
Yeah,
matches, to be honest.
so in a way, like your point of view, I understand it, but they haven't really had a one-on-one. On SmackDown, we might finally get it this Friday, and then the following Friday. But that's already the last 2 weeks. I'm like, that could have been Shinsuke.
Right.
That could have been Shinsuke. And what's it called? When it comes down to that fight, like I said, I have LA Knight winning with an interference of Solo. But do I think it's gonna happen? I don't know if they're ready to pull the trigger already. I don't know if they're ready to pull that trigger. It looks like it. They're tempting us, and I think that might WrestleMania moment might be the best. But that means that Solo doesn't have a fighting partner as well.
Right. Yeah.
That's another star that's gonna miss out.
I doubt Solo will have any match, and again, that's the only reason why I could see him interfering. Because if he does have a match, then there's gonna be no interference because I know obviously.
Mhm.
If he doesn't have a match, it's like, well, what are you doing in your spare time? Well, let me go ahead and show up and cause some destruction.
Yes, and that's why I see it. Like that's the only reason I see Solo not having a fight is to cause Fatu his title shot, and we have 2 weeks to build that shit up, and they can. But it's just that, like I said, it I don't know. It's just it was a convoluted mess that's gonna lead to something good, hopefully. Now, what else? What else that happened on SmackDown? I'm trying to think about a bigger fight on SmackDown. If not, so that we can finish it off with the Fatal Four. Um, we almost talked about all the other fights, and we're gonna continue to talk on Sunday to wrap it up. All the WrestleMania talks, but we'll end tonight with the Fatal Four of Dominic Mysterio, Penta, Braun fucking Breaker with that motherfucking amazing spear that killed Carlito, and fucking Finn Balor, who's gonna take the fucking pin at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
You don't think Dominic's taking it? Dominic does take a lot of pins too. Let's not forget that shit.
Dom's not taking the pin because, in my opinion, Dom's winning the championship.
Whoa.
Dom's gonna take the Intercontinental. How? By pinning Balor, which causes the breakup of the Judgment Day, which causes obviously more. And you're not pinning Penta because Penta's getting his push. But his push is not to be champion yet. It's way too soon for him. He just joined WWE. You're not gonna give him, champion after a month.
No, stop that shit. Because fucking who did it in 23 days and became a WWE champion? Finn Balor.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about Vince McMahon. Right now it's like Dom has been champion, has been North American champion, and from NXT. So it's like he's due for another championship because he hasn't been a champion since then. Like why put him in a picture now? Finn Balor is, again, like I mentioned last week, is you've been seeing his little demon Balor stuff in the background. So he's gonna turn back into a demon Balor and eventually might get back into a title picture. But right now, I think it's Dom.
It's just I like what you're saying. I do because it's different. I like it. It's just that you're putting too little stock on the Penta movement.
No, well, I'm not saying Dom's gonna hold it forever. I'm saying who's the only one that's gonna be dirty enough to win it. Like obviously Penta and Braun are gonna be distracted with each other. Finn Balor is gonna be all right. We're gonna team up on these guys and eventually win it. One of us is gonna win it, but really Dominic's like, yeah, one of us is gonna win it, but really it's gonna be me because you're not gonna see it coming when I turn on you to win it.
And honestly, people no, because it's funny. My second choice is Dominic. My first choice is Penta. I'm writing her for. I'm hoping that I can buy a mask by Wrestlemania, the Penta. I know that you have to go online, buy it from WWE and all that shit, or somewhere else, or at least a Penta shirt because I'm rocking Penta. I'm fucking with Penta.
Get a mask is not gonna get to you in time.
I do know this. Ray Phoenix. When it came to AEW, I loved Ray Phoenix a lot more. That guy's gonna be an amazing wrestler hopefully for freaking for WWE if they use him right. But I have been following Penta for a long time. I've told you guys many times. The original Penta is Octagon from La Lucha Libre de AAA because his main rival was Pentagon, which was a dark ninja. Because this was like a white ninja. He is a black ninja. After Pentagon Junior came out, and then they passed the Pentagon Junior to Penta Cero Miedo, and Penta became a good guy over time. Pero he never became a good guy in Mexico. He was always a good guy. He became a good guy over here when he was in Lucha Underground and all that shit. When Penta becomes a villain, a heel, he's called Dark Penta, which his mask, everything is all black. So I don't know if WWE is gonna go that route because now they're using colors for him and all that. I don't know if I'm digging that shit. I don't know if I like it because Penta was never that. Penta was always black and white. And now that they're adding it, the one that I loved a lot was a maroon one. That maroon fucking color, I loved that mask. I loved everything about it. The red one was nasty as fuck. I did not like the red one. The maroon was sick. The blue one, I don't know. We'll see what he gets in WrestleMania. Maybe like a purple color or something.
I mean, they're giving him the Mysterio treatment, I guess.
Yes.
Color coded, and it's selling. So like, let's go ahead and sell.
And they asked him on a podcast if he was going to sell out, and he basically says like, I would do anything for the company because that's the company that I've always wanted to be in. So in a way, he's selling out. He said that he hated the idea of changing colors in AEW. He hated it like a lot, and he said that the one that sold the mask that sold the most was that one that looked like the Joker. So when he saw that, he's like, oh, there is money to be made, but he didn't want to do it. So he continued to be more original to himself. Y acá in WWE, he's already fucking doing it.
Right.
But that he did say that as a child he wanted to be in WWE. Now, you're saying Dominic wins. That's how you kick off the Judgment Feud. That's how you kick off Finn Balor to become a good guy. I'm saying Penta wins because they're going to pull the trigger on him already. Because I am expecting in 6 months the Lucha Bros to become a thing. Maybe a year from now. However, Braun Breaker is going to tear everything down. I will not win. And this is how I start the feud. Finn Balor is about to pin one of those two guys. And Dominic interferes from winning. So we're talking about like Penta just fucking speared the shit out of... Braun Breaker just speared the shit out of Penta. Penta's outside. Finn Balor gets the fucking thing over him. He does a coup de grace or whatever that shit's called, a coup de grace. He's about to pin him. 1, 2. It doesn't look like he's gonna kick out, and fucking Dominic pulls him out. And then that's how you start the feud, and that's how Penta wins with Finn Balor taking the pin. I have Penta as a new Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania.
See,
And
so that's exactly how I have it pictured too. Difference is after Finn Balor lands it, that's when Dom goes in, takes over, and roll up or something on Finn Balor, and he takes the pin because Baker is not taking the pin. So that's exactly how it would play out.
damn.
Dom being Finn Balor.
Like I don't mind Dominic. I like Dominic, but I'm a Penta guy, and to see Dominic get a win on WrestleMania and give Penta an 0-1 record, I'm gonna be really mad.
I mean, if you think about it, Dom had beat. Dom had Penta beat before on Monday before everybody came in. He did the Dominic Destroyer, and followed by the 619, and then obviously didn't land the frog splash. But like, if I'm Dom, I'm gonna steal that move and I'm gonna call it the Dirty Destroyer. It's that simple.
Oh, the Dirty Destroyer. Hey, I did not expect that shit. That shit was amazing. Fucking amazing.
Like, in my opinion, bro, like if you do that and you set it up to a 619, it's over. Like that's how you win every single match moving forward.
Yes.
By
yes.
doing that into a 619, and then that's it.
Especially if you can do that flip, because I think that's the way that Penta did it, right? He did the flip, and Penta landed on the ropes, right?
No, he kicked out. He
So this is the thing about the Canadian, the Mexican, the Dominic, the Dirty. Not who fucking said it? John Morrison. John Morrison said it best on a CVV podcast. He said, "Not everyone can take the Destroyer because it's a very, very hard move to do. That they have to have great chemistry, and in this case, these fools are lightweights. Like right. I don't see if Braun Breaker can. No, Braun Breaker can do it because this motherfucker doesn't hurt Karana or that Frankensteiner, right?
Right.
Well, I can see him doing it, but can you see fucking Damian Priest doing it?
Well, the thing is, you're never gonna have Dom in that World Heavyweight title picture. I mean, you might for
yes, fucking will. Yes,
at that point you might, but it's not be light cheat and steal gimmick. It's not gonna be fair wins all the time. it's just that's not it.
Yeah, so like you're not gonna use that on Gunther, but you can use like a roll up with the quitándole el calzón a Gunther. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're going. I see what you're going.
Drop kick 619 frog splash. That's
and in this particular case, Dominic is gonna have to talk to Penta like, hey, let me steal your move.
Yeah, basically. I mean, again, I've been pushing for Dominic Penta feud since back when they interviewed. They were interviewing Penta, and then they started saying words to each other.
Yeah.
I saw in another interview, I forgot where, Penta didn't like Dominic because he actually thought he was doing bad to Rey Mysterio, like talking bad shit about him, like for real, and he's like, "Hey, it's just kayfabe, like calm down. It's not real. Like that's like still my dad, love him, whatever."
But Rey Mysterio is the idol of the Penta. All this I didn't know until I started getting all into. Penta's been doing a lot more podcasts, so they've been asking him a lot about Rey Mysterio. It was like he said that the very first time that they were gonna meet Rey Mysterio, it was when he was like 10 years old. Y como se llama, que Rey Fénix started to cry because they didn't get to meet him. Porque la línea estaba like fucking de 3 horas and he didn't get to make it. So I didn't realize that this fool's literally in love with the WWE. And that's why when you see Rey Fénix that he was about to cry in SmackDown, when Penta talks, is because they're there. Like for them, they made it. This is their Super Bowl. And then now they're getting to meet all their superheroes. Rey Mysterio, who still wrestles. Yes, you're going to get fucking... I get mad at Dominic when he says stupid shit like, bro, like, dude, I'm like, fuck you. I used to be a big Rey when I was young. I was a Rey Mysterio fan when on the NWO days, when he had the LWO. When it was, que se vestía como cholo when they had masked him.
Yeah.
So, like, I was a big Rey Mysterio back in the day. And when he came to WWE, I still liked them a lot. It's just that Eddie Guerrero really took that Latino fucking people and he never let them go. Till this day, people are still looking for the next Eddie. I'm like, you shouldn't be looking for the next Eddie. You got to look for the new Mexican star, not the next Eddie. I'm like, that's why I think the direction that they're going with Penta, it's really attracting people because Penta's way different from Eddie, way different than Rey. And Rey never got that attention that Eddie won. Eso sí, Rey Mysterio has never been a heel in WWE, and I don't want him to ruin it. They should keep it like that unless they unmask him. and he
I
goes
mean,
heel.
he's already on his way out. Ain't no way they're turning him now at this point. I mean,
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. He
they
would go
did it.
down.
That's about it, you know.
He would go down in WWE history. I think there's one. There's another one. I just don't know who it is, but he will go down in history as a WWE employee that never turned heel, and that's like fucking. He's been with them for 20 years already. I think he went there in 2003, 2005. So that's already 20 years that he's never turned heel for WWE because he was heel in WCW. People forget that, but he was a heel, and I never saw them as a heel because he was a fucking Latino wrestler. Even if the only way I can hate Penta is if he fucks up his brother Ray Phoenix because I love Ray. That's the only way.
Like you said, before that even happens, I'm sure they're gonna team up before that even happens. It's
Yes.
not gonna be around.
And like I can already see it. Do it in 2 years, and then they'll have a WrestleMania moment. Because every 10 years, there's a brother versus brother in WrestleMania. And this is not Kane versus The Undertaker, fucker. So calm down. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. And then it was I think it's every 20 years. It's Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, Jimmy versus Jay, and then we can have Penta versus Ray.
They had the Hardys in there at some point.
They didn't. They never did a WrestleMania moment, Hardy versus Hardy, which they missed. But that could have been it right there.
Yeah.
And what was he? No, yeah, I think there's only been at WrestleMania. There's only been those two. I thought there was a third one, but I guess not. No, because Bubba Ray versus Devon, they're not. They're not brother. But you got Dominic. I got Penta. These fuckers are gonna steal the night on whichever night it lands. I feel bad for anyone who's gonna be there because Dominic did that Dirty Destroyer, I'm gonna call it that. Thank you for calling Dirty Destroyer. I'm like, and because the way that Penta wrestles, because the way that Braun Breaker does his fucking spears, the best spear in the business. Now I believe it. When people used to say, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Now, like right now, yes, he has the best fucking spear. And you can never count out Finn Balor for anything when it comes to wrestling. That guy, when he turns it up, he fucking turns it up. And I feel bad wherever it lands. I feel like they should open. They should open one night, and so that everybody can shut the fuck up and they're like, now you gotta compete. Now you gotta fucking compete.
I don't think they'll open. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a mid card, like somewhere in the middle.
So my way. I'm gonna put it my way, right? Have Jay versus Gunther open because I don't care about Jay, and then have Charlotte Flair like 2 matches later, so it can kind of be boring leading in. Bang! You fucking explode them on night 1 with that mid card. Have other 2 feuds, and then end it with Aura. Who's Aura? CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. That's how you would end it. But do not have these motherfuckers go right before them, because it's wrestling wise. This will be the best card in the match, wrestling wise. And that's why I'm like, wherever you put these motherfuckers, they're gonna steal the show. If it's night 1, they're gonna steal it. Night 2, they're gonna steal it. The only thing that saves the main event on night 1, it's Aura. That's all it is. It's fucking Aura. And the promos. Cody versus Cena, because Cena didn't really change anything except he just became a bad whiny guy or bad person. Like, I like his promos, don't get me wrong. I don't feel like the aura is there for that match. It's still a good showing, but unless The Rock comes out with his fucking I don't know if they can steal it. But this Fatal 4, I'm calling it right now, is going to be an a toda madre showing. They need 15 minutes at least. At least.
I mean, there's no way you miss out on it. I mean, if you want to hit something nasty, like a spear on someone, who's taking it? Fucking Dirty Dom.
Yes.
It's simple. He's going to take it because he's the one that sells it the hardest. Besides Carlito, but that's a different talk. He's not even in it. You know? You know.
This match is gonna have the ¿cómo se llama? La table broken de estos commentators. Who's taking that? Who's taking that?
Dom.
Dom? You think Dom is?
Dom's taking it. I mean, how is he not? Well, the thing is, how though? With a spear or what?
With anything. I know that table's gonna get broken, or the barricade with the spear. Who's taking that spear into the barricade?
It's gonna be Dom regardless, one or the other. I don't know how they'll break the announce table because we don't have nobody off the top rope to be able to dive. I mean, Finn Balor could.
Oh no, yeah, freaking Finn Balor can do a choreograph that, yeah.
Hell no, he doesn't. I not see that happening from no.
Maybe a splash,
But it has to be like it's not gonna be a significant splash. I mean, if it is a splash, it's gonna be Dom. Then at that point, who's gonna be under probably Finn Balor.
I would say Penta. I would say Penta would take that hit.
I mean, the only reason why I agree with you is Penta for that reason, and because the turn's not gonna happen until the end of the match. The turn between Dom and it's just not gonna happen until the end of the match. So if you do that spot, it can't be Finn, and it can't be the other way around with Finn Balor on top and Dom on the table. So it's gonna be Penta or Dom taking that, whatever.
Yeah. Before we end it, I'm gonna say this regarding Penta. I'm shocked that the European brought up a big amazing chant for him that fucking US didn't pick up, which was ole 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 cero miedo, and then it keeps going. I'm like, that's so perfect, and it fits with his Mexican side, that Mexicans created the ole in the Mundial del I forgot which World Cup it was, the Mexico. They're the ones who brought up the ole. And it would have fit perfect for him, for people to cheer that. And I'm like, too bad that fucking, what are we in right now? April, May, June, July. I think it might be two disappearing by then. Because I was saying, if Penta would be in Money in the Bank and it's gonna be here in LA, I would be cheering that shit. And I don't know if I can get the crowd to be screaming that in the moment, because there's only one guy. But if they were to be happening, that would have been perfect for him. And I noticed that the LW is doing the same shit, that they're screaming LWO, but I think it's too late for them already. You guys should have started that shit way before Cero Miedo came here. And Cero Miedo really, it got me annoyed when he kept doing the Cero Miedo. Right. Like, dude, fucking relax. But he fucking got it over. He doesn't need to say it anymore. People fucking, as soon as he says this, y la hace así, people say it already. He doesn't need to say it. And I was like, fuck, he got that shit over. Like, he understands that crowd. I just hope that we can bring the ole. I fell in love with that shit. Like, fucking, ¿quién era? Italy. I think it was Italy who invented that.
That's just the fucking thing. It's like, you're talking about European shows. You're talking about football fans or football fans or soccer fans, however you want to describe them. Like, that's their thing. That's all the fucking chants they be doing for every wrestler. Is like, ain't no fucking American doing that shit out here. Like, if you go to SoFi, who the fuck plays at LAFC games? If you go to LA Galaxy games, over here at Atlanta United games, like, and then you compare that to the atmosphere out in fucking Argentina with Boca Junior matches with a fucking fire out. Like, it's never gonna compare. You go to England, you have the same thing. The fans is just never gonna compare, because again, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because like security reasons here in the States, that they won't allow stuff like that. I don't know. But obviously it's more out there. They pay more attention and detail of the fans.
That's true. I will say this: San Diego FC already brought out the smoke. On one of their teams, they beat I forgot, they beat Galaxy or they beat LAFC, and you saw smoke on the crowd. So I was like, oh shit! But why? Because these fools are close to the border. There are more Mexicans out there. So that they bring in that fucking crowd, que somos más así. And I was going into what you said about the fan thing. I'm gonna show you, people might not know that. People know that I watch movies. Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. You know how there's like the trolls. They're like, oh, the all can. They're screaming. Well, that scream is from a New Zealand soccer league. From New Zealand, when Peter Jackson was recording, he didn't get what he wanted. He literally went to a halftime show de la soccer, and he announced that he's like, "Hey, I need the people to chant in order like this, and tell them it's for a movie." And they said that shit. Oh, Peter Jackson, director Lord of the Rings, he needs this for people to be this. So during the halftime show, they recorded 15 minutes of the fans screaming and making a chant. So when you're watching Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and you hear the orcs, it's an actual soccer field.
You see?
Which
even fucking Rocky Balboa, right? I think one of the movies when he went, I think it was Creed, when he did the audience shot, because
Oh, see. Yes, Sylvester Stallone did say that he had to do it because their aura is a lot more.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately that American audiences, we understand when to cheer and when not to cheer, how to cheer and how not to cheer. But sometimes I'm literally watching fucking fights and the crowd is dead. The fucking Bailey versus Valkyria, that was a great fucking match, and the crowd was dead, bro. I was like, what the fuck, people? Like, don't you know when it's a good fucking showing?
Right.
That was a good fucking showing. I was shocked that Bailey didn't go heel. When I saw her pushing her away, I'm like, oh my god, we're turning heel again? Would you just turn fucking face? And then she goes back for the hug. I was expecting a belly to belly. And then I was like, oh, okay, we're keeping her face. That means we're gonna get the new tag team champions. They're gonna be the new tag team champions. Calling it out.
I mean, it's possible. They're not. I mean, again, fucking tag divisions never do anything out here. But we have Raquel. How many times have they defended?
Not on. I think one time. No, I don't know. I don't know if they defended. They just talked.
Yeah, I don't even think they've defended.
So we'll see. Well, William, good talking to you. I'm gonna clip that shit for the Dominic because I want you to cheer up when it happens. Because I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know. And again, people follow his new channel, Halo Talks, in TikTok. He does daily reviews of the Angels, just Angels alone. Don't expect Dodger talk. Don't expect Yankee talk. This is fucking Halo Talks, all right? So you guys have a good night, a good morning, and a good evening. Ciao, William.
Peace.